and basic video. It's not going to be super quick though. On a front drop bracket and a front differential kit for 88.5 to 99 Chevy pickup truck. Couple pointers here: if your differential is straight with the center link, you've done good. Okay, now let's go over the kit real quick. You're gonna have two brackets. This is for the front drivers to drop the front. This is for the back drivers, and this is to drop the passenger. Now, best thing to do is keep the bolt loose till you're finally done and everything, then tighten it up. Front bracket goes just like this. This is actually rough country. The one I just showed you is a crappy Chinese one. Didn't even work. It was too thick to fit in the brackets of the truck. Okay, so here we go. The front one is the easiest one. You're going to unbolt it. Let me get my air hose out the way. And if it wants to come out the way, there it is. Now, rough country doesn't tell you which way to put it in, so that stinks. But the part with the tallest bump, the biggest bump, goes in the front, and also the bolt hole that's closest to the edge of the machine of the bracket goes at the bottom. That just unbolts and bolts in. This is curved, or less curved than the original one. The original one curves up, so that can go in real easy. My bolts are just loose there, swapped them out. Okay, the rear bracket I would do last, but I'm going to show you first here. The rear bracket's pretty easy. It took me a while to get this because rough country, this tall guy kind of stinks. So then the Chinese people just use the same guide too. So this bracket is pretty easy actually. Now you're supposed to have to cut the bracket off at the back of the truck. Or cut part of it off. I cut the whole thing off. And I left the weld holes here, so in case I ever want to put it back together. You can't really keep the original bracket on because there's no room, no thickness to put that under there. You'd have to bend this bracket. This lower bracket, I'll show you. Here it is. Has this. The bottom two bolts are for the bushing. Top one gets drilled into the frame. And this one here, real easy. This is what makes it easy. It is right there. It's factory. So that's the one you bolt in first. Bolt the differential in. And then you drill a hole. I would just do a small hole, line it up. You can always do bigger holes if you have to. Use a center punch. And I said the bracket's completely gone. Now another rumor is, or myth, you do not have to grind the cooling fins down. If you look, cooling fins are there. They're not ground down. They do not hit. Because the bushing, where the bushing mount is, it doesn't get in the way. And I redid this whole differential, and these are new GM bushings, so there's no sag in here. And I'll show you up here. It's not cut. So now, that's the bottom one. Let's show you the front. Let me pause it while I get up front. Okay, now the front. I'll show you the back one again. No cooling fins cut. There's no clearance issue whatsoever. Now the front ones, you're going to have to excuse my lighting issues. The front ones here, they are notched. And they go notch underneath the frame, underneath the bracket. They go in the original bolt hole, and they go under, they just hang under here. And my problem was, get some better lighting here, is this corner here that I got lit up was an issue. So I had to take about an 1/8 inch off to get it underneath the bracket of the truck, the original frame bracket here for the truck. So once I took about a 1/8 of an inch off, that made it a lot easier. And then this bracket uses a factory hole, and it drops it down about an inch. All these are only about an inch. It has to go in the factory hole for the truck. It goes in the factory. Let's see if I can get a better view of it. It's hard to. There it is. You got it. There's the bushing. So you put the factory bolt. You're going to need a little longer bolt than the factory. you put that bushing / sleeve in, and 2 washers on each side. Now my issue, this truck, this ear here for the mount of the differential was in the way. So if you look, I had to grind it down just a little bit. Actually, I used a hand file because there's a lip on the outside edge of the differential. See that little lip? I had to grind it down a little bit, or file it down. And then the bushing that's under there, I ground the bushing flat, a little flatter, not too much, where it meets there, because otherwise it was hitting and I couldn't get these brackets in. And then this is off just a slight bit where the bushing is. It's sitting a little more towards the passenger side. So on the driver's side, I just put a washer under there, and I used some longer bolts than originally came with it. And I like the ones with the points on them, so they work a little bit better. So that is it for the most part. It took me a while to get all these things figured out because the factory, because the mount was hitting right there. So that was the biggest issue, because that was binding the whole truck, is because of that little ear on the front of the differential. And then grinding those down just a little bit on just a corner of them. That. And then now you know which way to that sits. Line up the hole right there. The most bottomless hole goes towards the bottom there. The hole that's closest towards the bracket. This other hole is way away from the bracket. As you can see, it's about 2 inches. So this is actually like an inch lift kit or drop kit. And then we're going to show you really quickly what I was really worried about. And I called Rough Country, and the guy said he's going to look at my picture in the video I sent him the link for. Never got back to me. Called him, never got back to me. I was worried about this. But actually, once you get the axle in, you're not going to have a problem. This is the rear control, the lower control arm bolt, the back one. And actually I used a washer in the head to bring it back a little bit. Let's go to the passenger side. Passenger side, you can see is not hitting. It actually got better once I had everything installed. And so my tip is to keep everything loose until you're done. But as you see the axle, I'll move the axle. It's not getting in the way. It was very close before, very, very close. I got something's binding in here, but that's with me. That has nothing to do with the differential kit, but it's not hitting whatsoever. Even with the bolts loose. So, actually, you know, it's binding because it's moving the control up. It's not bolted up at the top yet. The drop bracket. So, thanks for watching. Sorry about that little cam work. I'm just doing this amateurishly, and hope this helps you a little bit with how to do it.